Okay, let's begin with column A. The average of v plus w will be equal to v plus w over 2. Similarly, for column B, the average of x and y will be equal to x plus y over 2. At this point, I want to rewrite one of our columns so that we are using the same variables for both columns. Let's take the information we've been given so far, and we're going to add 5 to both sides of this equation to get the following. Now that we know that x plus y equals v plus w plus 1, we'll replace x plus y in column B with v plus w plus 1. At this point, I'm going to take our fraction in column B and break it into two fractions. Now we can see that we have v plus w over 2 in both columns. So let's subtract v plus w over 2 from both columns. And now we can see that column B is greater than column A, which means our answer is B. Okay, to begin, we are told that the average of 5 numbers is equal to 14. So, applying this rule, we know that the sum of those 5 numbers must equal 5 times 14, or 70. From here, let's simplify the left-hand side, and now we'll subtract 11 from both sides to get w plus x plus y equals 59. We're going to use this fact shortly. Our task here is to find the average of these 3 values. To do this, we must find their sum, and then divide by 3. So let's first simplify the numerator. And now we find that we must know the sum of w, x, and y. Well, we already calculated this sum to be equal to 59. So we'll replace w plus x plus y with 59. From here, we'll simplify the numerator. And finally, we can evaluate this fraction to be 22. So our answer is E.
So we have 3 variables. We don't know much about them, but we are given this relationship that 2x equals y. And so we want to compare this expression to the average of the 3 variables. Well, let's think about that average. Of course, that average is x plus y plus z over 3. That's what an average is. But we can substitute here. We can replace y with 2x. So that's x plus 2x plus z over 3. And notice that is 3x plus z over 3. Now, of course, I could split that fraction up to 3x over 3 plus z over 3. And in the first fraction, the x's cancel. So that is just x plus z over 3. So we see that this average equals this expression completely. The 2 columns are equal. Answer choice C.
The arithmetic mean of 2 quantities is the sum of the quantities divided with 2. So we need to find a way to add this and this up. Now, before we get down to solving this, I would like you to note that this is not equal to 8 plus 2. And this is not equal to 8 minus 2. In other words, you cannot take this square and put it over here and take this square and put it over here and say that, okay, this is going to be square root of 8 square, that's 8. Square root of 2 square, that's 2, and add them up. It doesn't work like that. Why? Let's take a simple example. Let's do 1 plus 2 and let's square the whole thing up. Now this is 3 squared, which is supposed to be 9. Now if we do 1 square plus 2 square, we end up getting 5. So this is not equal to this. Similarly, this is not equal to 8 minus 2. Keep that in mind, please. As a general rule, a plus or minus b whole square is not equal to a square plus or minus b square. But if you have a times b, ab, and the square of that, this is always equal to a square times b square. So if the numbers or if the quantities are multiplied together, the square can be applied on each one of them, but not with addition or subtraction. Alright, so coming back to the problem, one way to add these up is to FOIL these two and then combine them. But we could take a better route in this case. Notice that square root of 8 is equal to square root of 2 times 2 times 2. And whenever you have a pair of the same factor under the square root, as in here, there's a pair of 2, so you can take it out. So this becomes a 2 outside multiplied with square root of 2. So this quantity out here, square root of 8 plus square root of 2, this becomes equal to, let's write this down, square root of 8 plus square root of 2 is equal to 2 square root of 2 plus square root of 2. And 2 times something plus that something is equal to 3 times that something. So this is 3 square root of 2. Similarly, square root of 8 minus square root of 2 is equal to 2 square root of 2 minus square root of 2, that is just square root of 2. And now we have the simplified form of that expression for the arithmetic mean as 3 square root of 2 squared plus square root of 2 squared divided with 2. Now, as I said, when the quantities are multiplied inside the parentheses, you can apply the square on each one of them. So this becomes equal to 3 squared times square root of 2 squared is 2 plus square root of 2 squared, that's another 2, divided with 2. So this is equal to 3 squared is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, 18 plus 2 is 20. So this is 20 over 2, which is equal to 10. The right option is D.
For this problem, we need to consider the sum. Remember that the sum equals the number of elements times the mean. And often writing things in this way is much easier. So we know that the mean is less than 25, so that means that the sum has to be less than 4 times 25 or less than 100. So we want a sum of 4 values that's less than 100. Well, we can add these 3 up. 29 plus 41 is 70, plus 13 is 83. So 83 plus x has to be less than 100. Well, we can actually solve directly here. X has to be less than 17. And so the only 2 values that work are a and b. None of the other values work. A and b, that's the answer.
Okay, in this question, we want to find the range of set A. To find the range, we need to know the largest and smallest number in the set. So our first step should be to arrange the 8 values here in ascending order. Let's begin by arranging these 6 values. Since the question tells us that x is less than y, we can easily arrange these values as follows. Now what about 3x plus y? Where does this go? Well, if x and y are both positive, then 3x plus y must be greater than y, since we're taking y and adding 3x more to it. As such, we can place 3x plus y to the right of y. Finally, where must x minus y be placed? Well, since x is less than y, we can conclude that x minus y must be negative, which means x minus y must be less than all of the other values here, since the other values here are all positive. Okay, now that we have arranged set A in ascending order, we can examine the range. The range is equal to the largest number in the set minus the smallest number. The largest number in the set is 3x plus y, and the smallest number is x minus y. So the range here will equal the following. When we simplify this, we can see that the range of set A is equal to 2x plus 2y. So our ultimate goal here is to find the value of 2x plus 2y. To do this, we should use the piece of information that tells us that the median of set A is 10. Now, since set A has an even number of values, the median will be the average of these 2 middle values. So the median will be x plus y divided by 2, and this we are told is equal to 10. From here, notice that if we take this equation and multiply both sides by 2, we get x plus y equals 20. And if we multiply both sides by 2 again, we get 2x plus 2y is equal to 40. At this point, we've answered our question, since our goal was to find the value of 2x plus 2y, and we now know that this is equal to 40. So we can now go up here and enter 40. Okay, beginning with column A, we'll find the average here by adding the numbers from negative 50 to negative 1, and then dividing by 50. For column B, we'll add the numbers from negative 50 to 0 and then divide by 51. Now we should recognize here that both numerators are virtually identical. These two parts are exactly the same. The only difference is in column B, we're adding 0. Now, of course, adding 0 does not affect the sum. So from this, we know that both numerators are the exact same negative number. At this point, I want to eliminate our fractions by first multiplying both columns by 50. And now we'll multiply both columns by 51. Now, if both columns featured the same positive number, we would know that column A is greater than column B. However, since both columns feature the same negative number, we now know that column B is greater than column A, which means our answer is B.